Worship Outside the Box, a weekly blog of creative ideas for leading worship. Story outline prompts. Structuring faith narratives. Once upon a time, and every day, until one day, and because of that, and because of that, until finally. You've likely heard this narrative framework before. It's used in storytelling, screenwriting, and stage plays. But this deceptively simple sequence also offers an accessible structure for reflecting on our own faith journeys. It invites us to trace the shape of our personal good news stories, not with a heavy theology or polished testimonies, but with the honest contours of lived experience. In worship, we often jump to the big moments of transformation, skipping over the slow, faithful, sometimes confusing everyday parts. We forget that God's presence is as real in the routine as in the dramatic. This framework helps us remember that faith isn't just a series of spiritual highlights, it's a story in motion, with twists, pauses, and unexpected grace. How the practice works. At an appropriate point in the service, introduce the narrative outline. You might write it out on a whiteboard or project it as a slide. Once upon a time, and every day, until one day, and because of that, and because of that, until finally. Explain that this isn't just a storytelling tool. It's a way to notice the unfolding of God's presence in our own lives. Invite people into a few moments of quiet reflection. What might their once upon a time be? What patterns or habits define their everyday? Was there a turning point, an until one day moment? Distribute printed sheets with the full prompt sequence, leaving space after each line. Provide pens for people to write with. Encourage people to jot down simple thoughts, words, or images, not necessarily full sentences. Make it clear that this isn't for sharing unless they choose to. It's a personal map, not a performance. Congregational engagement. After a time for silent reflection, offer a few optional ways for people to respond. Some might wish to quietly hold their sheet during prayer, naming it as their story before God. Others may want to fold theirs and place it in a shared basket on the altar, a collective gesture of offering. If your congregation is open to it, invite people to share their outlines aloud. The simplicity of the prompts keeps the storytelling grounded and relatable. One person's journey can illuminate others, sparking connection, empathy, and encouragement. Why this works. Faith isn't static. It moves, shifts, unfolds. When we give people tools to name that movement, we help them see that their lives hold meaning and momentum. This framework doesn't demand spiritual eloquence. It offers a gentle guide. It makes space for lament, growth, surprise, and redemption, all the raw materials of grace. Using the story outline prompts in worship affirms that everyone has a story worth telling. And within those stories, however messy or unresolved, we find traces of the God who walks with us through every scene. Ngā mihi.